What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Selkirk University, your home for product education, comparisons, tips, and really just all things Selkirk. In today's video, I want to talk to you about InifiniGrit. Now, you've probably heard a lot about InifiniGrit recently, as we've recently released the new Luxx InifiniGrit. But what is InifiniGrit and why does it matter in today's game? Now, the InifiniGrit surface was originally released in the Project 007, and it's recently made its way to our mainline launch of the new Luxx InifiniGrit. But the main things you should know when it comes to InifiniGrit are spin and durability. So don't just think about the spin that your paddle produces, but I want you to think about the lifespan of that spin. Something I hear from the pickleball community often is that they'll get this new raw carbon fiber paddle, they'll take it out of the box, it'll feel super abrasive and rough and gritty when they take it out, but after playing with it on the court for not very long, the paddle becomes pretty much smooth and the grit pretty much all wears off. And so one of the biggest issues when it comes to paddle technology is the lifespan of spin is really not that long. Because I want you to think about what happens when a pickleball makes contact with a paddle. So these balls kind of get roughed and scuffed up over time, and they continually hit the paddle and they scrape the paddle, scrape the paddle, scrape the paddle. And so some of the residue from the ball is going to get onto the surface of the paddle, and the abrasiveness is just going to wear the paddle down over time, and that grit is going to wear off. But when it comes to InifiniGrit, we have tested this in our lab. I've actually been to the lab and I've seen the different machines that they use, and they have this machine that basically runs these abrasive cycles onto the paddle. And what they found is that a traditional raw carbon fiber paddle, after about 50 cycles, the paddle was practically smooth and the grit was pretty much all gone. And it took about 150 cycles on our InifiniGrit surface for the same effect to take place. And even after those 150 cycles, there was far more grit and abrasiveness on the InifiniGrit than the 50 cycles with the raw carbon fiber. So that's how we really come across the data that InifiniGrit really does last 3 times longer than raw carbon fiber. So if you're out there and you're looking for a paddle, but you want it to actually have grit that remains and stays and doesn't fade over time, you should really think about a paddle with InifiniGrit. I've heard some things from the community that maybe this spray-on grit has a negative context, when in reality, it performs very comparable, if not even better than raw carbon fiber, and it just lasts way longer. So that's kind of an overview of what InifiniGrit is. Here in a couple weeks, I'm gonna actually release a video with an engineer from our lab. We're gonna show you the machines, we're gonna show you how we test for spin durability and paddle abrasiveness. So if you don't want to miss that video, like, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.